It's let me make sure. It's been a while. It's been over 3 weeks, or almost 3 weeks, I think. Let me say hello. Hello, Seiko. Good evening. Watch some before you go to before you need to go. Thanks. Hello, Misfits. Welcome. Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Oh, and thank you, Misfits, for the super chat. I do appreciate it. It's been a long time. I mean, it's even like the last. It's been 3 weeks, but then before then, I think, or there were like a couple days in a row, and then it was like 2 weeks before. So I've hardly streamed in like a month. But thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate it. Hello, Hein. Welcome. Thanks for joining. The Buck Moon. Yeah, the moon. The full moon was 6 hours ago, so we're going to be dealing with moon. Hello, Donkulus. It's been a long time. Cosmic Ray. Good evening. Streaming on Discord and the Night Sky Network. Cool. I have your Discord video up here, so I'll switch to that. Yeah. No, thanks. Thanks for hopefully things will slow down further in the weather category, so I can stream again more consistently. I was looking. So as you know, there've been I'm nowhere near Central Texas, but there were catastrophic floods in Central Texas, and it's been raining. It rained a lot where Starfront is. Brady, Texas, which is near Starfront, got 17 inches of rain this month so far, and they normally get 27 inches for the whole year. So it's been raining a lot, but historically May and June are the rainier months at Starfront, so hopefully we're heading out of that now. Like July, August tend to be drier, so hopefully, fingers crossed. Hello, Benji. Good evening. Oh, this happened last time. Thank you for telling me that. Okay. I turned down the volume on... I turned up my volume and I turned down the music a lot, and I don't know why that is, because the levels were like the same. Yeah, I did. Sorry. It's all fixed. Hopefully. Is it better now? Anyway, we're not here for the for that, but if the voice is okay, I will move on to... Hello. Okay, it's better. Cool. Yeah, I need to... I don't know what went wrong. Unless I changed... Anyway, I'm not going to change it now. Okay, great. Thanks. All right, so... let's switch. It is mostly clear at Starfront. You can see some clouds going through, but we'll work around them. Of course, as has been happening recently, the polar alignment, the plate solving didn't fail, but it still ended up enabling the tracking reasonably well, so I think it's good enough to get going. Hello, Sir Arrow on a random. Good evening, Star Traveler. Thanks for joining. Yeah, so I might have to do kind of a initial calibration imaging run just to get the telescope unconfused. One other thing, I mean, it's still hot, but the northern hemisphere shortest night of the year was a few weeks ago. Not quite 3 weeks ago. So from now on, sunset will be happening earlier, slowly, initially. So the good thing is I'll be able to start the live streams a little earlier. Probably by the end of July, I'll be able to pull it back maybe 15 minutes or half an hour even. Which because yeah, I could do like 2 or 3 hour live streams, but it would be up till 1 in the morning. But okay, so unfortunately I don't have Stellarium on here, but I am just trying to find a target. I think I'm going to try M13 since that seemed to be the go-to, and we'll see if that works. And this is just to get so the telescope can kind of plate solve itself since it wasn't able to properly start up. And in the lower right, you can see, well, below me, you can see that's Cosmic Arrays Seestar. I think it was M57, the ring nebula, I think. Okay, let's get going on this, and we'll see if this plate solves. If not, I have a way that's a little more not time consuming, but a little more complicated to get it confused. Oh, 688, NGC 6888, which is the 6888, which is the Crescent Nebula. So that's a neat target. Okay, is it plate solving? Yep, I can already see it. Geez, after just one frame, I can already see the crescent down here, the beginning of it. The fact this isn't plate solving is bothering me. So let me see. This might require... Yep, it failed. So what I end up doing is I'll stop that and I'll go to live view, and what I end up doing is let's see. There was an S30 there before, but depending on, I haven't had that many streams, but at some point they ended up redoing my all-sky camera, and now it's the directions are flipped. So I used to be looking at the telescope on the other side of me, which was an S50, and now it's looking at the S30 that's on the other side. And Cosmic Ray has the S50 out. Okay, so I've got, what I end up doing is sometimes I can so you notice it says it's at 12 degrees right ascension and 43 declination, and what I found is the telescope gets confused, I think because the plate is slipping, and so the right ascension's wrong, but the declination will be right. And if I can't point it at a target, it ends up getting a little bit more frustrating. I could probably repeatedly try, but that's not what I end up doing. What I end up doing is I end up looking at, I'll either try to force a plate solve with the Seestar, but I've noticed sometimes it'll complain that it can't. And it just did. It complained it couldn't. So what I'll do is I'll solve it outside of the Seestar, figure out where it's pointing, and yeah, and then kind of manually fix it. So while I'm flailing around here, we can admire Cosmic Ray's nice crescent nebula here. And you can see the clouds kind of zipping around. Okay, so we're actually at, yeah, 40-something degrees declination, but we're at 20 hours of right ascension. And the Seestar claims, the Seestar, what does the Seestar claim we're at? The Seestar claims we are at 12 degrees. So that ends up getting tricky. So what I'll end up doing is I'll find something near those coordinates. And really, I could have just started with that. Okay. You know, this happened yesterday. It was, or the last time I did this. Okay. Theoretically, let me try this. Let's see. Okay, M3 might be a good candidate. Or, hey, you know what? No. M3. Dare I try M3? I'll try M3. So let's see if this works. Basically, I find something relatively near to where it's actually pointing, or where it thinks it's pointing. And what'll happen is it'll move a little bit, realize it's pointing at the wrong area, and then kind of move to the right spot. So we will get, oh no, sorry, M53 is what we're going to try. All right, so let's see if this works. Meanwhile, Cosmic Ray's getting a lot. Yeah, correct. I didn't send out my S30, but I'm holding out for the S30 Pro. So, yeah, point at Vega and sync. I need to. The problem is it's off by so much. I'm not sure if I could do Vega. Yeah, hopefully it will be clear for you. I know it's been a mess for a lot of people. Okay, so. Will it actually, the coordinates seem to be, yep, it's plate solved. Yep, there we go, M53. The, say, globular cluster. Now it's doing the dark library, of course. Yeah, it looks like it might actually be reasonable weather here tomorrow. Maybe not at Starfront, but it looks like tomorrow and Saturday might actually be clear. If so, I'm going to stream every night because I just wanted to kind of, because it had been a while since I'd used my streaming computer. The keyboard wasn't working. The cable for the keyboard wasn't working. And so I was kind of scrambling, trying to get things working again. But I do want to kind of get the refractor out again because it's been a while since that's been out. Might be able to do a solar stream again because it's been like, it'll start off sunny in the morning, and just as the sun's starting to rise above the buildings next door, some clouds either roll in or rain clouds will roll in. And yeah, so I haven't been able to do that. Yeah, the June, July pre-sale. Yeah, I supposedly they were going to start pre-orders on the S30 Pro. At one point they said July. When I checked a couple days ago, it wasn't for pre-sale yet, but definitely very interested in that one because of the better optics, better camera, wide field, but yet very portable. I think it'll be a great little scope, but yeah, hasn't gone up for sale yet. It's been such a long time since I've done a live stream. Don't forget to like the video. It does help these live streams, especially since it's been such a long time. Sometimes YouTube will be aggressive at pushing it back out. Sometimes it's not. So don't forget to like the video. It does help. Good evening, Turf. Thanks for joining. Good to see you. Yeah. Hi, Don. I am using a Raspberry Pi. I'm running Seestar Alp on a Raspberry Pi at Starfront. And I do sometimes run it that way here at home. Yeah. So yeah, why do you ask? Because I could go on about it, but I just curious what. Yeah, I'm not gonna see the S50 Pro. Yeah, never know. They might surprise us, but yeah. On the other hand, I guess it depends on how many they make and what the price is, because it's obviously going to be more than the S50. Because, I mean, the S50 is like 150 more, 200 more than the S30. But with the better optics, better sensor, better primary sensor, better secondary sensor, 4 times the storage because it's got 256 gig instead of 64 gig. Yeah, I maybe it'll offset, but then again, I don't know. I could also see the demand kind of being high for however many they can make. Yeah, no, it's good. And it's been a while. That's true. That they aren't starting from scratch. That's very true. The optics are different, but the body mold, I mean, yeah, the optics are probably made by somebody else. The body mold's the same. A lot of the other stuff would be the same or very similar. Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. So, yeah. So, well, one thing you could do, if you haven't already, you could. Sorry, my brain's. It's been a while since I've done this, and I'm rusty. It's not that I was rusty before, but Um, let me try this again. My local computer keyboard is like glitching for some reason. I wonder if that means the browser's going to crash here. Anyway, so the link oh yeah, hey, I said it was going to crash and it just crashed. At least the tab crashed. So the link I sent is the Discord server for the channel, and I know Cosmic Ray loves Discord, but yeah, I'll go over some of it now, but you might want to check the join the Discord, because if you have questions, people can help you get set up. Let me see. Sorry, I'm having a brain glitch here. Oh, so what I was going to do is, so what a lot of people do, and what I'm what I'm running right now is Seestar Alp, which is open source software, and it's actually what Cosmic Ray is running as well. It runs on Mac, Windows, Raspberry Pi, and it lets you control a Seestar. It's unaffiliated with CWO. It was some software that a number of people kind of figured out what the app is sending to the Seestar and built APIs around it and a web interface. And it's, if you have questions about setting that up, but that's what I'm using on my Raspberry Pi here to control the Seestar at Starfront, and I run it that way locally as well. I am working on kind of a new experimental version of it, which is kind of going to be a little bit, hopefully, smoother of an experience, but it's pre-alpha at this point. But yeah, certainly try that. Check out that link, the Smart Underworld one. Join the Discord server if you have any questions, or even if you don't. We talk about Seestars and other telescopes and astronomy and other random things. Dwarf 3 is 700. Is it 700? So you have they announced the price, or do you think it'll be 900 for the S30 Pro? I mean, I figured it'd. I mean, if it's under 1,000, I mean, it's a 585 chip, but it's an uncooled chip, so I don't know how the pricing will land. It'll be interesting. I could see it being very popular, so long as they don't get the pricing really wrong. How's the rebuild? I mean, I've been developing it, and the latest code is all out there. Yeah. Waterfall development. Not quite. It's more like there are some very broken internal bits, and I focused on getting, I hate to say it, but I focused on the bits that I could use on a live stream to view the image, and that was like my primary focus, mainly because I feel like the experience wasn't as good with Alp, and I can say that because I wrote all of it, most of it, not Alp, but the live view part. And so that was always something that bugged me, and so I focused on that part. And I guess I consider it pre-alpha just because of its limited features. Yeah, I mean, and I've been, because of necessity, I've been using the app to control, or Alp to control, and I've been using my new experiment on what to view. You can see the live view. There's clouds coming through here, and you can see this in the upper right here. That's a 15-minute loop. So there's a lot of clouds coming through, and of course, it doesn't help that the moon's up and it's lighting up all the clouds, so that's making it a little worse. Good evening, Dark Shades. Welcome. Thanks for joining. All right, so we got M53, and I'm gonna try this V462 Lupi, which is that the Nova, that not the latest one. Well, there was one that was a few weeks ago, and it looks like it might finally be starting to fade a little bit. But let me look up the coordinates for that. Yeah, that might be less frustrating to get it worked out on your desktop. Do you have, I mean, it works on Windows and Mac. Which one do you run? Let me see. Let me look up this. So what we're gonna do is go to B462 Loopy. So, and here you can see this is the brightness that people have been charting, and it kind of peaked around the 20th of June, and it's been slowly kind of trending down. And it's not a supernova, it's a nova, but it's I guess a classic nova where a matter where there's two, it's a binary star system, one's a white dwarf, matter comes off the non-white dwarf onto the white dwarf and eventually gets to a point where there's an eruption. Okay, cool. Yeah, we have plenty of people who run both, and can help if you run into any hiccups. But check that. There's some documentation. There's a binary you can download and kind of go from there. So let me plug in these coordinates here into ALP, and V462 Loopy or Lupi, I don't know. It's 15 hours, 8 minutes, 3.274 seconds, and minus 40 declination, 8 minutes. I'm just plugging these numbers into ALP. 29.58. It's funny because since I haven't been sitting at this desk much, because I haven't been streaming much. I mean, I sit here other times, but I haven't recently. I still need to re-image the Windows computer I'm using for streaming, because it still won't pick up the second capture card, and the VPN isn't. Anyway, it's confused, and so I need to just redo it. Okay, so because otherwise I'd be able to share what I have my Mac laptop here, and then the streaming computer. What you're seeing on screen is actually from my Windows computer. Okay, so hopefully, because it's pretty much almost due south, pretty low along the horizon, and in this all sky view, south is to the left. So hopefully there aren't any clouds there right this moment. Yeah, I have ALP, and I'm running it on a Pi 5, at Starfront, but locally I run it on a Pi 4 and it works fine. An ALP image install that's been made recently. No, mostly because very recently there's been an update to ALP, but there hadn't been any changes in a while before, like the last week or so. Like it had been weeks before the previous one, so the build that's out there isn't too far out of date. Okay, so it's starting to image. This right here is the nova. This is just a normal star, and when I last imaged this, or not last imaged it, but I was able to image it a few times, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, like over 2 weeks ago. This star actually appeared as bright, if not slightly brighter than this one, but now it seems like it's faded a bit. And unfortunately, this thing you see right here, that just is a cloud coming through the field. So it's stacking the image, but it's not going to be necessarily the highest quality, but that's okay. I was just wanting to kind of image it and see how it's faded, because usually they'll start fading after a few weeks and then get back to however dim it was before. Yeah, so usually what I do, okay, so at Starfront I actually run it that way. I actually have the Pi connecting to the Seestar's Wi-Fi, but I connect to it over the Ethernet, because otherwise the routing would be tricky or impossible. Now, a lot of times, like here, the way I run it the Seestar in station mode, where it connects to your house Wi-Fi, and then you can connect to it from your PC or your phone or whatever, so long as you connect to the same Wi-Fi. And that's kind of handy, because I found, like, you don't have distance limits, or you have potentially greater distances you can be from the Seestar. If you're connecting directly to its Wi-Fi, you have to be relatively close to it. But if your house Wi-Fi is fairly strong, I can be 30-40 feet away from the Seestar, so long as it's connected to the same Wi-Fi I'm connecting to. But either works. Personally, I running it in station mode, where it's connected to your house Wi-Fi. I feel if you're running it at home is the better option. Yeah. No, I haven't made that in a while, and that's a good reminder. Actually, what I'm with the new ALP, or the experimental one, I'm actually planning on making it, eliminating the need potentially to have a canned image. But yeah, well, I still need to get it further along before I spend time focusing on that. Hello, Mundus. Welcome. Thanks for joining. And like I had said earlier, don't forget to like the video. It does help the live streams. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I think there's some clouds going through this image, because the colors are getting all weird, and there's a large amount of stuff here. Whoa. Or is it because somebody's Or is that actually... So this telescope's at a hosted facility. Man, do you see how that's lit up like it's daytime? Okay. Is it still lit up? It's like somebody was walking around with a red flashlight or something. Yeah, the full moon is... It's kind of crazy. It is kind of low right now, but still, it's just looking at these images, it looks like daylight. Yeah, so that's another thing. What Darkshade said. Like there's instructions on the there's a lot of instructions on the on that GitHub page, and there is a shell script that there's steps documented that will bootstrap it pretty easily, and that's typically actually how I run it, where I just follow those steps and kind of update it that way. Butterfly. Okay, I was going to ask what, yeah, so the Butterfly Nebula here. It's cool. Let's see. I'm going to take a drink of soda here. Let's see. Yeah, I need to get my my streaming PC and where I can actually share all the things I have on my laptop now, because I've been accumulating kind of articles of things I wanted to kind of do or image or whatever, but yeah, that's okay. Next time maybe, or this weekend, because it might actually be clear enough to stream tomorrow night, in which case I probably won't have it done tomorrow, but maybe for Saturday. Cool. All right. Yeah, so I only did for 10 minutes, and then I was going to move on to another target, which if anybody has any suggestions, otherwise I will look. Now the main problem is there's a lot of good Milky Way targets up right now, but the moon is relatively close to the core of the Milky Way. Not as close as it was over the the previous couple days, but still pretty close. So I have to kind of image away from the Milky Way. I mean from the moon. So some things I can't image, but like how Cosmic Ray is imaging the butterfly, like that's a bit further away. So I am just... Oh, hello, Dawn. Thanks for joining. I do appreciate it. It does help. Really appreciate that. Is it 100%? Yes, it is 100%. I mean, new moon was like 6.5 hours ago, I guess, the exact moment. So yeah, we're right at new moon. I mean, not new moon, full moon. We're right at full moon. So yeah, unfortunately, it's going to be blessing us with its presence all night. But the good thing is by tomorrow and then Saturday, you know, it'll still be pretty bright, but you know, you start it rises, you know, a little bit after sunset, and so you can kind of image some things initially before it rises. Yeah, looking at cosmic rays all sky there in the lower right. Okay, cool. So let's go look at, where do we want to image next? Yeah, because of the conditions, I tend to end up going with an indie driver for Seestar. Yeah. Yeah. I know some people have talked about fixing that, but yeah, it's stale, unfortunately. It's actually something I've thought about doing after all the other projects I'm working on are in better shape. In other words, maybe the fall, maybe in the fall. Okay, so that's getting too close to the moon. Yeah, I'm kind of constrained because I can't go too far to the north because then I run into, so my telescope's on this ledge at Starfront, and there's a wall right behind me, so I can't image things too low to the north. So that kind of rules out like the Iris Nebula right now. Like it'll be high enough in a bit, but not right now. That's an interesting one. So all these interesting things. What was that one? Nope. That might be ambitious. All right. Yeah. No, that's I like that. It's a good idea. I need to just figure out what target. I should probably do, yeah, I could do a something with light pollution filter and something without. That would be interesting. Actually, let me see. LDN 1165. That sounds like something that yeah, that's probably a little too low right now. I think it's like right at the cusp. Although I could try. Let's try. I mean, the good thing is it's far away from the moon and the sky. It is also known as Barnard 174. It's a dark nebula. Hey, Cheap Astro. Yeah, looks like I'm owed a few likes. Yeah, please don't forget to as Cheap Astro said, don't forget to like the video. And hello there. Good evening. It's been a while. Thanks for stopping by. Now the question is, will it plate solve? Will it plate solve? Because sometimes it'll fail a couple times, maybe 3 times. But if it starts getting to 4, and if these coordinates don't move down here after the first failure, it's probably not able to see anything. It's probably too low right now. Good evening, Otto. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Yeah, the Dark Lord Arrow one. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, it might have to wait till later because it is not plate solving, and it's not the coordinates aren't changing. Like, it's one thing if it'll go to a target and it'll be slightly off, so then it'll plate solve, realize it's slightly off, and then you'll see the number move a little bit because it's trying to adjust. But the fact it didn't move at all, yeah. So, and sure enough, we'll have to try that in a little bit. So let's try. Okay, cool. All right. Does using the filter, if it's the right kind of target, yes, it's definitely helpful. The problem is a lot of targets. So if you're imaging a galaxy, it really doesn't generally help. But if it's a nebula, I mean an emission nebula, it does help a lot. It definitely cuts down on a lot of the kind of light pollution for the moon, as it were. But even then, there's a limit. Like if you're imaging a target that's pointing towards the moon and like there's a lot of light hitting the front of the telescope, or just you're near enough where the sky's lit up, it'll struggle with or without the filter. Still trying to find what. I'm having be a moment of indecisiveness here. Yeah, the problem is there's like all these targets I want to image, but they're too close to the moon right now. I'll do the Tulip Nebula. Why not? Okay. And that will use the light pollution filter, so that should help. All right. NGC 7129. Let me look at that in a sec. Yeah, yeah. Astrophotography definitely can do that, where you start off with one thing and before you know it. Does the Seestar have a dew shield? No, I mean, it doesn't come with one, but there are like 3D printed ones. You could either print them yourself or buy some. Like I bought one off Etsy, I think, and I bought one off one of the telescope places. Actually was selling a 3D printed one. What is it? like deny. Yeah, like there's a lot of designs for it, and there's like ones with filter holders. There's ones that just add the diffraction pattern. Yeah, so there's a lot of them out there. It's too late to go back now. Yeah, 3D. Yeah, they have to be removed. Or if it's not too tight in there, actually, I've forgotten more than once. I have one, and I forgot more than once, and it actually just gets knocked loose. Yeah, one of us. Nice. GTI mount, nice. 585 is a great camera. Ask R71, that's good. Good. Yeah. No, those are good choices. Yeah, it's let's see. All right. See, I haven't done this in a while. My neck's already getting stiff. Barely started. Yeah. One more. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah. Or you could end up like many of us, where we have the Seestar and something else or other things. Yeah. All right. So I am imaging the Tulip Nebula, but just getting started with it. That it's like what do they say? That escalated quickly, Benji. Okay, so NGC 7219. Right. Yeah, I know once the moon starts interfering, or yeah, I definitely start leaning on light pollution LP targets. Have to pay. Nice. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so NGC was it 7129 or 7219? Oh, 7129. I swapped it. NGC 7129. Oh. Cosmic Rosebud. That sounds interesting. Where is the... Oh. I'll put that one down. It's still a little low to the north, but I think I might try that in a bit. Maybe after this one. Yeah, only a few. Oh, motorbike. That's a good. No, that's a fair thing. You know, kind of diversify. Yeah. No. Dobsonians are great for some things, but yeah. Yeah, the Ask R5. Why the slew? What is the slew? Probably third mount. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, at some point I'll probably need another mount. I'm pretty happy with the yeah. Oh, but yeah, yeah, that'll do it. Getting egged on. Um, Ask R5 on a third mount. Nice. And hello, Dallas. Good evening. I will spend all of your money. Nice. Yeah. No, that's a good. Ask R5 on a third mount. This is a Dr. Pepper kind of store brand from HEB. If you live in Texas or been to Texas, you're familiar with it. You might be familiar with HEB, but it's called Diet Dr. B. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Depsonians. 1 mount and 3 Ascar. Yeah. Well, you know, what was it? Things start spiraling out of control when people start talking about, you know, having like multiple rasas on a. Yeah. Anyway, we won't go into that. But yeah, 1 Ascar 5 would be nice, and a Rokinon. That's a nice one. That's a good. That's a very good one as well. That's something it's on my kind of list to get eventually. Because I've thought about, you know, astro modifying one of my Canon, or like it's not like I have a ton of Canons, but like take one of them and astro modify it and get something like a Rokinon. But the problem is I'm usually shooting from home with my Bortle 9 skies, and so I think if I were somewhere where the skies were a little darker more consistently, I would probably do that. But I guess that's why I haven't rushed out and gotten, well, besides the cost, just because I can't. I feel like I wouldn't be able to use it as much as I would want to. Oh, I forgot. One thing I've been doing is, because I shoot equatorial mode, I've been messing around with the dither settings, and I forgot to do that today. So, I mean, it's going to be challenging with the moon anyway, but the good thing is it'll be getting better, and hopefully it'll stay clear. Yeah, SV555, yeah. Yeah, that's oh yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Interesting. That's cool. Yeah, I know how that goes too. Well, and that doesn't help if it's not image of the month, maybe tomorrow. That would be good. I am in Houston, Texas, in the swamp. But yeah, not there's different people are scattered about different places inside, in and out of the U.S. But yeah, I'm in Houston. Yeah. 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 I should post the affiliate links. The affiliate, there are affiliate links in the video description. So I'll at least plug that. I have Amazon affiliate links. It's Prime Day, well, Prime Days. So if you have anything you want to buy there, and also like High Point Scientific, Agena Astro, probably one or two others I'm forgetting. I think I have a CWO one in there. Yeah, missed everywhere. That's kind of what I'd been having a lot of here, where it would say it would be clear. It wasn't mist so much. It was kind of a fog. Like in the spring, late spring, we get a lot of that here off the Gulf. That doesn't help. Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah, I know some other people have been using I think the 220 filter on the SV Bony, and also getting great results from it. So that's good to know. Bad weather loads of work. Yeah, that happens. Yeah, that certainly hasn't helped with me as well, because there had been like one or two clear nights where it actually was clear all night in the last 3 weeks. Not here, but at Starfront. But unfortunately, a lot of them I was just too wiped out to stream. And then there was like one night where I thought, oh, okay, but I'm too tired, I'm gonna go to bed. And then the roof closed, like it opened at the normal time and then it closed at like 11 p.m. So I was like, well, I didn't miss much. And the moon was up that time, so the Seestar doesn't have a proper like filter attachment, the S50, but it is a 50 millimeter aperture. So people have kind of like friction, a filter cell that kind of friction attaches to the front, and kind of like how the solar filter works on the Seestar. It just kind of plugs into the opening of the front of the telescope, or where the optical element is. Oh, nice. Yeah, I need to do that more. I have a 220 and a 240. I need to try that more with my local Seestar. Maybe I'll do that next time. I do have the filter cell for it. 5 minutes later. Ouch. Yeah, there's been a few of those, and ones where it was like clear, like really clear at like 5 p.m., 6 p.m., sunset around 7 or around 8, and then clouds came in. So yeah, it's been a recurring theme around here. Oh, got the North American Nebula. Cosmic Ray has that going here. Yeah, I think he's on to the keep the Seestar filter. Yeah, that makes sense. Because the one time I think I did the one or two times I tried it, I was kind of debating, do I use the light pollution filter or not? Oh, nice. Cool. I'm in Australia. Nice. Cosmic rays got... Oops. Did that the wrong... Oh. Yeah, Portal 3-4. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, not... definitely not the case here. There we go. Super noisy here. Let me move on to nice. Yeah, not here. Definitely makes everything more of a challenge, which again is why this S50 is at Starfront. Not, I mean, I have another S50 here, but it was part of it was the frustration of always having terrible skies. Let's see. Trying to figure out what would be a nice bright one. A lot of things are up higher right now. So that's... Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, Portal 5 in return for better skies. That would, or I mean clearer skies. That would be good. Yeah, at Starfront, theoretically, Portal 1, 2, somewhere around there. It's pretty reasonably dark. There's a town to the south, not a huge town, but it's. You only notice it if you're imaging stuff like really low to the horizon to the south. But yeah, otherwise it's great when it's when there's no moon and there aren't clouds, high clouds. But yeah, it's. I mean, the thing that has been nicest, probably the single nicest thing. About having the scope there for me, I mean, I've been able to image things I would never have been able to image at home, like dark nebula. I just can't do it. I've tried it. I mean, I can image it from here, but it just takes hours and hours to get just something really faint. SV dual narrowband. I mean, you don't have to. I mean, you're getting great results without it. Cosmic Rays imaging NGC 7000. I'm imaging, well, it says Cygnus Star Cloud, but it's the Tulip Nebula, which is, what is it? It's actually not an NGC. It's a Sharpless SH2-101. So maybe that was my problem. I'm picking something that isn't even NGC catalog, so it's just fainter. Is that an NGC? Let me find. The problem is, like, the really bright ones that I would like to image are too close to the moon right now, like Eagle Nebula, Lagoon Nebula, all those. But Saturday night, probably moon will be that much further away. Maybe it'll be okay then. Maybe I go ahead and try. I don't want to do the North American because Cosmic Rays already got that going well. Some of these others are too low right now. Like the elephant's trunk. And even then, that one's not as bright. Yeah, the wide. It would really be interesting to see what how it looks on the with the S30 Pro. I think that'll be really awesome. Just the really wide field of view. I think that'll be great. Okay, so Okay, good night, Cheap Astro. Have a good evening, or good morning. Yes, don't forget, like the video. Cheap Astro says. And thanks for dropping by, and have a good rest of your day, night. Yeah, Elephant Trunk. Yeah, I got a little bit of time on that a bit ago, but I should probably try it again. But I'm not sure if I want to do that right now. See, that would be a great all these great nebulas that are really close to the moon. Cocoon. Yeah, I should try that. Or Pelican. Yeah, no, maybe I'll do the Pelican. Hello, Chris. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Yeah, well, you're in the right place. Yeah, the Bubble Nebula is... Let me see. It's... I'll have to keep the Bubble Nebula in mind. It's still a bit low right now to the north. But that'll be a good one to try. Cocoon or Pelican. Let me start with the Pelican. Yeah, okay. Let me see. There's a bunch of... Whoa. I have it like on a... Alright. Oops. Okay. Do I want to frame it like that? Yeah, I'll start with that. IC 5070. So let's do that. Image, schedule, image, grab that, and alright, and I will skip, so it'll stop imaging the Tulip Nebula, and it's going to switch to the Pelican. And then I'll do the Cocoon after that. Or maybe I'll try the Bubble. I see 4604. Oh, yeah. I guess from my point of view, it is kind of, it's to the south and the moon's to the southeast. I guess I've been trying to but that might be a good one to try tomorrow. I see 4, 6, especially first thing when the moon's like either hasn't risen or is really low. I'm writing all these down for hopefully it'll be. It's close. I see. Yeah. If you're talking about the moon, it's close. It's reasonably close. Or did I look up the wrong? Oh no. Yeah, no. I wasn't. Wasn't sure if I was looking up the wrong target. I transposed some numbers earlier when I was looking something up. Well, this is off to a somewhat of a promising start. I didn't mean to do that. There we go. All right, live. I was live. Why did I try to do it again? Yeah, it's oh, okay. Yeah, it's I guess how high is the moon right now? It's fairly low. It's 20 degrees above the horizon, so it's pretty low. The running dragon. I mean, what do you mean by that? As far as like the catalog in Alp? I must turn this the wrong way. The temperature humidity at Starfront. That's a great question. Let me see if I can figure that out. The imprecise. Actually, let me see if they have it on their status page here. No, they don't have it on this status page. So usually what I look up, and there's a weather page on their network from their local weather sensor, but I can't get to that at the moment. It's 77 degrees there right now. What's the humidity? Okay. Yeah, okay. It's 77, dew point is 66. So it's not super dry right now. Oh, Yeah. Yeah, the catalog isn't. I mean, the catalog is okay, but sometimes it'll be. I mean, the Pelican is next to the North American, so I know sometimes it kind of. If you're pointing at something nearby, it'll kind of claim it's pointing at something else, or the plate solving will be a little off, and it'll be off a bit. How many buildings do they have now? They have there are 9 with telescopes, and there's 2 more that I know of under construction. So they have buildings through 9, but you can see this is building 10, and then they built. There's one back there that I guess those 2 are not being used yet, but they're starting to install telescopes in building 9. So yeah, a lot of buildings. Oh, yeah, well, I mean, what I'm using is, at least what I was using is, I'm actually, well, I was, in some cases I'm going to it, I'm putting in the coordinates using a browser that's on this other computer, but it's pointing at the same Raspberry Pi. But I oftentimes am. So one of the things about ALP that I really like about ALP is if you run Stellarium, if you like turn on a setting in Stellarium, it kind of exposes something internally that ALP can read the whatever you've clicked on in the interface. So I can look up very obscure targets in Stellarium, then go over to ALP, click a button to pull it into it, and then go to that target. So that's how I got to the yeah, that's how I get to most targets, actually. I just use, because I'm looking things up in Stellarium anyway, and then I just have it provide the coordinates to and when I say provide, it's basically just a button push. You just push a button in ALP and it pulls in the information. So it pulled in the coordinates, and it also pulled in the name instead of the NGC number. But yeah, so that's usually what I end up doing. Yeah, 194789. Yeah, so Rockwood is closer to where Starfront is. Brady's a little farther south. Rockwood's like a mail stop. It's pretty small. HD 194789. HD 194789. Oh. I mean, that's there's not an NGC, but there's an LBN. Yeah, that's the Seestar region. So like LBN 249 is one of the things there. One thing I'd like to do is start doing native mosaics at Starfront, which is kind of not possible currently with ALP, but I always love it. It's like you're using an ad blocker. It's like, I get it, but on the other hand, the people who are using the ad blockers really don't want to see ads if they've gone to that effort. So I don't know. so I wrote down that LBN. The good thing is those clouds that were going through earlier seem to have gone through, so cleared the area, so that's good. I mean, now we're only having to deal with the full moon, not moon and clouds. Yeah, tomorrow evening is actually looking pretty good here. Like, yeah. You know, one thing I haven't done in a long time here is run my S50, because I have the another S50 that's been largely off because I've just been using the S30. But maybe I'll dust off the S50 tomorrow here. Is it going to be clear at Starfront? Might be clear at Starfront too. So maybe I'll do 2 S50s. We shall see. But that's good. Hopefully that'll hold. There've been a lot of those kind of. It claimed it would be nice, but then it ended up being bad. So I'll have to do what I get, what I can take. What I can. Yeah. Yeah, that would be nice. Moon is bright orange and huge. That's cool. Yeah, here it's just, bright. Yeah. Cool. I was just looking at Cosmic Ray's North American Nebula. Looks really good. Yeah, that's right. Pretty much. And recently it's just been, even worse than usual. It seems like, well, a lot of times it was accurate. It was just the forecast was terrible. Yeah, so no, it's not easy. I mean, most people just mail their equipment to Starfront. It is in Texas, but it's about 300 miles from here, 400 miles from here, over 300 miles. I did drop my telescope off there, but it was quite a drive. Or I shouldn't say quite a drive. It was a bit of a drive. I did it the round trip in one day, but on a Saturday. But yeah. I mean, the main problem I have, consistently have with it is, I keep it running all the time, but if it ends up in a state where the battery drained or something happened, it needs to be power cycled, they have to do it. I open a ticket, they do it. A lot of other people use SwitchBot, which works with USB, and it just pokes the power button. And they actually have installed it on some people ship their Seestars to Starfront with it. Others have had them install it, and I need to do that. I need to send one to them. They're pretty cheap. They're like $20, and then I could power cycle it remotely. Mostly I don't really. I guess it's that and the for whatever reason I think I have slippage on my plate for my equatorial mount, so like it ends up kind of having a hard time getting aligned initially, and then it's fine the rest of the night. But on the whole, I mean, it's been more positive than negative, just because of my terrible skies and the fact I can leave it running, and if clouds roll in there or if it starts raining in the area, they close the roof automatically, whereas I don't have that at home, so I always have to bring my scope in because we have pop-up showers here in the evening, and so I don't trust leaving it out overnight. So yeah, otherwise it's I mean, especially like with the Seestar, where you're mostly remote controlling it, as it were, anyway, like through an app. You're not like looking through it, or I guess that makes it easier. I mean, there's logistical things that you have to get set up, and most of the people who run Seestars at Starfront, because the problem is, so you can use ALP, and most people don't use ALP. They want to use the ZWO provided apps, but those only run on phones officially, but you can run the iPad app on Macs that have the Apple Silicon processor, like the newer processors, the ones they've had out for the last few years. And so people send Mac Minis there, and like it doesn't have to be a current Mac Mini. I mean, it could be like it doesn't have to be the latest. It could be like a few-year-old M1 Mac Mini, but that's what a lot of people do. I know there's at least one person I know has experimented with putting Android on a Raspberry Pi, and then running the Android app on a Raspberry Pi, and use that to control the Seestar, but that's a little bit more involved. SwitchBot, yeah, it's Amazon. Let me find that. What just happened there? Oh, that's weird. Yeah, SwitchBot. Let me find it. Yeah, and it's on sale through Prime Day. There we go. That's that isn't my affiliate link. I should be better about sending affiliate links, but that's the SwitchBot. Like I say, that's it's pretty inexpensive, and I've actually thought about getting one. Well, I actually have one here, so I need to get one, send it to ship it to Starfront, and then actually use the one I have and attach it to my something locally, maybe my Seestar when I have it out in the backyard and need to restart it or something. But yeah, I believe, pretty sure that's the one that people have had luck with. There's also a finger bot, but that one I think is, at least for the Seestar at Starfront, people have said to get the switch bot. Yeah, I think the fingerbot might require a hub, and maybe that's why. Whereas the switchbot runs with Bluetooth. I really like the really like this. Looks very dramatic. The what cosmic ray has. Just gonna stop the loop there and just stay on the fixed image. But yeah, it cleared up nicely. Too bad about the moon. And it's typical. I mean, it'll rain and rain, and then the weather will clear up and be nice right around the full moon. Yeah, no, thanks. I appreciate it. Do appreciate that. Yeah, as far as I know, it's a I mean, because the Seestar button is just kind of, you push it for on or off. So as far as I know, yeah, you could, because it probably has to push and hold. Yeah, I mean, it has to push and hold either way. For shut it, I mean, you can turn it off in software for turning it on. Well, unless it's hung. Yeah, it does. No, it does look dim. I'm not sure why. Maybe it was, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, and I mean the problem is, like, the last 2 months have been very cloudy and rainy there, and to be fair, those are, I mean, I was looking at the kind of the averages there, and May and June tend to be the rainiest months. So that was kind of somewhat expected. I know when I first got there in February, I think, but like March and April were amazing. Like, I imaged so many times. Yeah. Yeah, but I think the fingerbot is like Zigbee or something. And so it needs a hub even for anything. But I mean, you don't, like, if you have a computer, like even a Raspberry Pi or a Mac Mini would be able to talk to it. Let me see. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, SwitchBot is the one people are using at Starfront. Yeah, they said they just run the app on the Mac Mini and connect over Bluetooth. All right. Oh, let me get that for you. Yeah, sorry, I'm let us see. Yeah, so it's for Amazon, even though it doesn't have Amazon in it. It's a redirector, kind of localizer. So, like if you're in Canada, it goes to Amazon.ca. But yeah, that's the link. Yeah, that's the link. Yeah, I wonder what. Yeah, for whatever reason, it's a bit dark, but I think there were several good suggestions. Let me see. Oh, hey. Welcome, Stephen Fox. Yeah, thanks for joining. Yeah, I was actually thinking hadn't seen you in a while, but then again, I haven't been streaming. How have you been? Let's see. Should I try? Let's see, is that high enough yet? Yeah, I think the bubble's still too low. So I might actually try, since I know it's higher, that Seestar area. specifically LBN 249. Yeah. It's in the description. Yeah, but it's kind of, and it's not, yeah. I need to make it better. More been lurking. Yeah, been what there. Yeah, it's been a mess for a lot of people. Married at high compression. Maybe. Hello, John Davis. Welcome. Yeah, it's let me try that Seestar area. Image and let me see. I guess I'll do that. LBN 249. And I will leave the Pelican and go on to LBN 249, which is again part of the kind of in the general, more or less general area. Not too far from North American and Pelican nebulas. I wonder if I'll have to, if I should redo the dark frame. I don't know. Okay, I was gonna say, don't tell me this is another one, but it's starting to show some nebulosity. I mean, it's only 50 seconds in, so might end up trying the crescent here at this. Where is the crescent now? Yeah, it's right next to the Seestar area. Oh, which one is that one? Yeah, maybe I'll do the crescent. Maybe I'll go onto the crescent after a little bit with this and then kind of end on that. Yeah, it would be. I mean, it's just hard to get to the Mariana Trench in general. Yeah, let's Part of me is getting impatient, and I think I may just want to go to the crescent right now. Actually, what I should do is I should stop and rerun the dark frame, just because I feel like sometimes it'll be warm during the day and the scope cools down, and the initial dark frame ends up kind of not as effective. So let me try that. Okay, I have to completely stop imaging to do this. Create dark. You can see it at the logs going by, but down here, but once it gets to 100, I'll resume the schedule. And I'll resume with the that same Satyr region to see what it looks like, and then move on to the crescent. All right. Oh, that's an interesting one. Smart Cube Touch switch. Let me look that one up. Huh. That's interesting. Man, there are a lot of smart switches. And yeah, if it is Amazon Prime Day, so if there's anything you want to pick up, if you use my affiliate link, I might get a small commission at no charge to you. There are so many choices. I think Prime Day, I think it's through tomorrow, but it's really Prime Days. So much stuff. That's interesting though. Thanks for that, Cosmic Ray. Yeah, I think I'm going to go on to the crescent. And I set the crescent to go for several hours, so I'm just going to let that go for a bit, and then yeah, probably wrap it up for the evening. Since it is getting towards midnight here, and I mean, I'm not ending it right now, but just probably going to start wrapping it up at some point. Yeah, only problem, that's the only problem with these Friday, Saturday streams are always better for me, just because I don't have to get up as early the next day. it is Friday. Nice one. That's true. It is Friday. There are places where it's Friday right now. But unfortunately, this is not one of them. And I have something I have to do, work related, first thing in the morning. So, yep. Yeah. That's and like I was saying, if you haven't joined the oh, you did join. I just noticed. Hello. Yeah, the Discord server is also a great place to ask questions and stuff, and also just share information. Like we have gear. I mean, there's no hard and fast rules, but like there's gear specific channels and stuff. But gear gets discussed in every channel. But yeah, cool. NGC 7380. Oh, nice. Oh, that would be awesome. And plus, a couple nights from now, the moon will be not out of the way, but at least it'll be rising a little bit. Not immediately at sunset, but that would be cool. Get the 9-inch Celestron out. That would be awesome. And then do M20. That would be really cool. NGC. Oh, Wizard Nebula. Cool. That's a great one. I'm gonna not end the stream right this instant because I want to see how the Wizard Nebula starts looking, because you always get pretty good results pretty quickly. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like maybe I need to ask them if my lens needs to be cleaned at my on that Seestar. But we'll see. Might be. Although it's, the crescent's looking pretty decent. Although if I zoom in too much, it starts getting grainy. Yeah, the Wizard Nebula is a cool one. I need to image that at some point. Yeah, I know. The yeah. I kind of had set it aside for a few days because I had some other things I was working on, work related. But going into the weekend, I'll probably pick it up again. Speaking of which, it reminded me I had kicked something off earlier. Yeah, and that's one thing I was thinking about. If it ends up being cloudy next week, or just to have a live stream astronomy oriented without doing any observing. I really should dedicate some time to just all these things I've been working on that might be of interest to people. Because yeah, because some of these things I've been demoing on Discord, but not necessarily on stream. So I should do that. Maybe I'll do that next week if there's some cloudy nights that I otherwise wouldn't be able to stream. Yeah. You know, the thing that I find really interesting about this, and it's not a novel observation, but that these photons were emitted in the past and have been kind of cruising through space until they hit the sensor, came through the atmosphere and hit the sensor. And if they wouldn't have hit the sensor, they would just hit the ground. So we're kind of catching falling photons. But the fact that they've been going for so long, I mean, like NGC 688, this Crescent Nebula, is 5,000 light years away. So those photons were emitted when the pyramids at Giza were being built. And if you're, imaging certain galaxies, those were millions of years. Dinosaurs may have been walking the Earth when those photons were emitted, and they were kind of zipping through through space for ages, and then processing and processing. Let me check. Oh, I can't check here. I've got to check. Yeah, I mean, it is. Yeah, I mean, that. Yeah. What was I gonna? Oh, processing. The process, North American. Oops, sorry. Oh wow. So this is what Star Traveler had of North American Nebula. But this is not from a Seestar, to clarify for people. This was not done with a Seestar, but with a larger telescope. But really cool. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Yeah, no one could answer that. Yeah, I mean, the Seestar is, I mean, all of it is like, the photon, the data has to be processed in a certain way to make it perceptible to us, because the photons that hit the sensor, there aren't enough of them for it to really be visible, and then the dynamic range is kind of high, so there is a certain amount. I mean, like the Seestar, it combines the data mathematically, and then it does some kind of stretch, which is similar to what Graxpert does. Because when I've compared some of the, well, it wasn't the Graxpert stretch, but there was another stretch I had done, and when I compared what I got with that with what the Seestar was showing in the live view, they were comparable. So there is some kind of mathematical process, but yeah, I mean, if you're talking about like spending hours on processing, then yeah. No, it's nice. 130 million light years away. That's cool. Yeah, so that was well during the dinosaur era. I mean, like I say, there's a stretch going on. I know that much. There's some kind of there might be some kind of sharpening going on, but it's definitely doing a stretch. Because like even the preview, like when you're looking at the preview, either in ALP or in the app, like that is being stretched real time, because the pixels, I know, because I looked at the raw pixels. The raw pixels, if you just display them, they're like an unstretched fit file. They're black, because each pixel has, I think it's 16 bits, so 65,000 different values, and they're all like down around 100 or so. So it's like, it's dark. Like you might see brighter stars in there, but everything is just, you can't look at the data that's coming, that the Seestar is showing as it's stacking it, because it's unstretched. So the app itself, I know for a fact it's stretching it, because I had to implement the same thing for live view. And yeah, it might be doing some kind of noise reduction. Now they definitely have like their AI buzzword, but no, I mean it's good. It's very good. I've been quite pleased with the results I've gotten when I just use the app. Well, the basic stretch is not very mathematical. It's not very intensive. It's a pretty quick stretch. Now, the problem is it's not like, I've taken the same fit file and you look at what ALP does with it, and it might be in some cases a little bit brighter sometimes than what the app does, sometimes not. But I can take that same fit file and put it in Cyril, and even with not even spending time on it, but like doing one of the default stretches, you see more data, because it's doing, maybe it's doing a more, I mean, it doesn't take that long, but I mean, it's pretty much instant, but it might be doing a different transform to bring out more of the dimmer areas. And these days, even phones do that a lot. Like they take, I mean, because I've actually looked. It's not necessarily straightforward, but it's possible to take the raw off of a mirrorless camera and open it in such a way that because a lot of when they talk about cameras having, or not cameras, but like a new Canon or Nikon would come out, and the photo software would have to be updated for the new RAW mode. Some of it was just the formatting, but I've opened some of those RAW files without doing kind of whatever the normal RAW software does, and they're dark. Like, so the camera itself is even normalizing the brightness in it. Now, and that's a traditional, digression on cameras. Like that has been a problem a lot of times that I've personally run into, because the cameras, well, some of it's the exposure and I take it back. It's not the stretching, it's the exposure, where they're trying to expose the image for neutral gray, which is why a lot of times you can't use the auto metering for a lot of things where there's like weird lighting. But anyway, long story short, the cameras do some kind of processing on the raw data. The Seestar definitely is producing unstretched data, but then it does like a simple stretch, because it's similar to what was implemented in ALP, but it doesn't bring out everything that's in the image. Like there's stuff in there that might be like, if the stretch was a little bit more aggressive, I think the problem is a lot of times they can't be consistently more aggressive, because it might be a target by target thing where certain areas, like maybe there is faint nebulosity there that you did capture, that if you're more aggressive you can bring that out. But in other cases, like maybe you imaged a galaxy, and if you do that you end up just making the sky brighter, which is not necessarily what you want to do. Anyway, I've got no soup for you. Like I say, there is a stretch going on. I do know that, because I've taken the raw data that comes out of the Seestar over the wire, and it is, not something you could view directly. It's like when you open a FIT file, it's black. Yeah, and it's and plus, like, they have a large dynamic range, and especially with astronomical targets, all the data is like crushed down to in the lowest levels. Yeah, and it really has. You get into the facts. Like I say, I can, as someone who had to implement stretching for live view and ALP, I know I don't know all the specifics of what they're doing, but I had to implement a lot of it. And so it's they're and the stacking they're doing, I think, is just a normal. Like if you take the raw FIT files in Stellarium, in Cyril, and you process them with kind of some of the default settings, you get a similar result to the stack that comes out of the Seestar. So whatever, I'm not as familiar with the algorithms, Sigma clipping, whatever algorithms they're using, but that said, one way, there are cases where you'll end up with similar results, but then there's other cases where, because it is a live stack, where it's starting, it's taking the initial images and it's cumulatively averaging things onto it. Whereas so it's using like the early frames as the reference frames. Now when you stack manually or with a script in Cyril, for example, or PixInsight, it might pick a different reference frame. Like maybe the first frames weren't the ideal reference frame. Like maybe the conditions weren't as good or whatever, or the field rotated or whatever. So it's, and then the other issue I've run into is if clouds start going through the field of view partway through, you end up with like this real kind of poor quality image, kind of washed out, low contrast. Whereas if you take all the underlying exposures, 10-second exposures, you might chop out like a quarter of them, but that data was actually kind of like making the sky brightness worse, or less contrast because there weren't as many stars. So you just kind of ignore that data, stack the rest, and you end up with a more contrasty image. You can't necessarily do that while you're live stacking, but you can do that after the fact. Now, that said, I personally tend to be lazy, or I don't want to say lazy. I'm not motivated to spend a lot of time. I've done it in the past, but generally I'm like a year behind on processing some of my images. So I can definitely appreciate not doing it. Anyway. So yeah. I mean, what I do on my streams are all just, I'm not I'm just doing kind of whatever the analog of what the app is doing. Now that said, but one thing about the app is it's very fixed in the nature of the stretch that it's doing. But and like I was saying, some targets might do better with certain kinds of stretch than others. Now, one thing I'd wanted to do with the old ALP, and I might do with the new ALP, is I had taken the code out of Graxpert for doing this stretch, and that's the stretch I'm doing here. But it has like a bunch of different variants, and I originally had a more aggressive variant, and I kind of backed it off to a less aggressive one that's probably closer to what the Seestar does. But I've thought about exposing that, so it would be basically a button where you could make it kind of, as it's showing up live, it would be either more and like I say, it would be more on per object thing, like galaxies versus nebulas, but it wouldn't be anything you'd have to really spend time doing. It would just be kind of a toggle while you're previewing the result, which also can be helpful too, because like if you're seeing the stretch more aggressive as it's going, like early on, you can tell maybe what kind of results you'll get once you let it run for a few hours, whereas with a less aggressive one, you might not see all that until you've let it run for a few hours. I mean, it's not like having a more aggressive stretch would let you'd still have to get a few hours of data for it to not be noisy, but still. Anyway. Yep. That was a big digression, but it's late. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean the camera isn't the camera alone is not sufficient. It's really the software that kind of makes it all work. I mean, like a camera, a sensor, and a scope with like daytime scenes, you don't really need to. I mean, you could go down the rabbit hole of like what is processing. There's signal processing coming off the sensor to turn it into analog, and I mean, there's eventually it goes into anyway. I'm not gonna. But yeah, you still end up having to have some kind of computer driving it. Does Seestar work well in a city center? Hello, Fernando. Welcome. Yeah, I mean, I usually run this Seestar's at a darker location, but typically I run. I live in the middle of a city, and so when I'm running the Seestar I have here locally, it's yeah. I'm able to image a lot of these targets. Now it'll take longer to get some of these results. Some things are very, very difficult. I mean, it all depends on how bright your city is. Mine is particularly bad. It's it's on the Bortle scale. It's 9. But yeah, it works. It's got a light pollution filter that helps a lot for nebulas, and but yeah, it works. I mean, it works as well as any telescope will, because you're still fighting light pollution ultimately. The nice thing about the Seestar is, since it's portable, if you can take it with you if you end up, like, if you go camping or you go somewhere else. So whereas with a normal telescope, maybe you don't want to drag it out because, when you're at home, and then it's it's more of an effort to take it somewhere. Whereas a Seestar, you can just kind of bring it along. Like, I went to a rental house, and I brought the Seestar with me, hoping I could use it, but it ended up being cloudy. But yeah, I mean, it's maybe not works well. It's everything's going to struggle in a city, but it's definitely usable in the city, because I mean, there's lots of other people who use them in cities, and I do as well. No, the one you see is not in a city. It's out in the country. It's a remote Seestar. But yeah, I can tell it's starting to get late, and I'm getting rambly. But I'm not tired, so I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I probably should start wrapping it up, though. The good thing is, since it is remote, I don't have to bring it in. But then again, if it were local, it takes like 2 minutes to bring it in. Yeah, I should just wrap it up. But yeah, thanks. It looks like the weather will be good tomorrow and Saturday. Hopefully, either here or at Starfront, So, so I should be able to do another live stream. Yeah, so it depends. If you can have it just like the Seestar. You can have it in live view mode. And it's pulling data off the sensor, and it might be doing some kind of mild stretch, but not a ton, because you usually end up having to really crank up the gain to see anything. But then once you start live stacking, it is stacking it, and it is doing a stretch, and that's what the little histogram at the bottom is doing. And it has like a stretch magnitude, and it also lets you kind of mess with the highlight, kind of the black levels and highlights, to kind of compress the basically to affect the stretch parameters on the fly. And that's what the live view is. I mean, what the live stacking is doing. Now, that's only doing it to the screen. It's actually, you can have it save the stretched JPEG, and like that's like I have that setting turned on where when I click save, it'll save the stretched PNG file. So like what you would see on the screen is what would come out of it. But it also can save like the unstretched stack. I said I was getting a bit rambly. I think it might be time for me to wind it up, wrap it up for the night. It might not be asking me involved questions that I haven't organized my thoughts on. Can result in this sometimes, but that's okay. I can clearly talk about it for a while. yeah. I can clearly talk about it, whether it's coherent or not. There were times where I would go back and watch my live streams afterwards, just a lot of times to check them technically and stuff, make sure that the volume was good and stuff. But yeah, there's somewhere I'm like, I don't want to watch me ramble. I know what I'm like when I'm rambling. And like I say, I don't feel tired, which is kind of a problem. Anyhow, but yeah, so keep an eye out for another live stream. Like, subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks everybody for joining. Thanks to Misfits for the super chat. I do appreciate it. And thanks to Don for joining as a level 1 member. And thanks to everybody else who's supported and just been here, liked and subscribed. And thanks to Cosmic Ray for sharing his imaging session tonight. I do appreciate that. A gaggle of speechwriters. I'll just have AI write it, Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, clear skies. Thanks. And good night, Stephen. Thanks for joining. And yeah, thanks for joining, Otto. And like I say, keep an eye out. I'll probably do this again tomorrow night, trying to take advantage of the clear skies while I can, because hopefully the rainy season will be is winding down. But yeah, streaming on Discord. Yeah, join the Discord server, because there's people usually often streaming at night there. Yeah, not Grok. Yeah, I'm not going to touch that one. But yeah, there were times where I had thought, like, I've used a few other AIs, and I had thought about, I hadn't used Grok, and I'm like, yeah, I should check it out. And I'm not going to check it out, at least right now. Would not want it to write a speech. Would not want to write a speech for anything, let alone an astronomy channel. Sorry. Much hilarity would ensue. Okay, maybe not. I'd get banned, probably. Anyway, on that note, thanks everybody for joining, and hope you have a good rest of your day or night, and clear skies. Bye.